The Windham Regional Commission is a critical resource to 27 Vermont towns in Windham, Windsor, and Bennington counties. I'm Nathan O'Leary for Comcast Newsmakers at the Latches Theater in Brattleboro, Vermont. Chris Campany is the Executive Director of the Windham Regional Commission, and he is here to talk about the organization. Welcome, Chris.
Thanks for having me.
Can you describe the work of the Commission?
Like I say, we coordinate planning among 27 towns. In the absence of county government, we provide a key link between the state, local, and federal government. And assist towns with all their planning needs, and then any other issues they may have with governance that we can help with. A lot of the towns are very small and may not have the capacity to do everything that they need, and so they can come to us and we'll help them out.
What are some of the services that you would provide? Say like the most basic of service.
The most basic actually is assistance with mapping and GIS. Of course, most towns don't have that kind of service, so almost any of the town halls you go into, you'll see our maps on the wall, and that's a critical service we provide to them.
How sophisticated of a map are you talking about?
As sophisticated as they want. We have a top-notch GIS staff. We can do actual GIS analysis where you analyze different layers of data spatially, or we can just create basic maps showing topography, roads, structures, 911 mapping, that kind of thing.
So you've got something basic like that. What would be a big order on your plate, so to speak?
Probably one of the more complex and delicate things we work with towns on. It's one of our mission critical tasks is assisting towns with the development of their municipal plans, providing them with that, any kind of analysis they might need. It's really important that the towns have ownership of that process, but we can help them with provision of data, analysis of that data, facilitating town discussions within the towns, because oftentimes we're touching on difficult issues, and then also working with them on the zoning to actually implement those plans.
And what makes this regional commission, we talk about it being critical to these municipalities in the state. Why the word critical?
Well, we are the only entity that exists between the towns and the state. And so let's use Irene as an example. When Irene struck, when FEMA comes to town, they're used to dealing with county governments. The state was overwhelmed. They had difficulty even managing just state infrastructure. So we were tasked with coordinating all the recovery activities among the towns, especially recovering their transportation infrastructure.
So far as when they came to you, what kind of basic things were you doing in that regard? Because you had a lot of people calling you from, you said 27 towns, so what were you doing for them on those phone calls?
We're doing road status mapping, what roads were open, which ones were closed, exactly where all the damage was. When it came to rivers and streams, where landslides were, slumps, other potential damage, and then also even just helping like getting FEMA around to the different towns so they could do the initial damage assessments.
Nitty-gritty basic stuff, essential stuff. How are the regional commissions funded?
We're funded through we have a contract with the State Agency of Commerce and Community Development. We have an assessment from each town, which is relatively small. Together, that constitutes about 30% of our budget, and we use those funds to then leverage funding for emergency planning, brownfields, redevelopment, and transportation, a number of other sources from other state agencies and federal agencies.
What would you say is the biggest challenge of the Commission?
The biggest challenge right now, I think, is helping towns prepare for what's going to be the pretty severe fiscal crunch. As we have fewer funds coming from the federal government, it's going to put more of a load on the state, and the states are going to be looking to towns. And so helping them plan ahead, especially in terms of resource planning, where to make those investments, I think that's going to be a key issue ahead of us.
All right, Chris Campany, thank you very much for joining us, the Executive Director of the Windham Regional Commission. Thank you for joining us for Comcast Newsmakers. I'm Nathan O'Leary.